And are you refreshed? Good. Now what?
Hi. So I've had several of my questions answered already today. I'm in a tremendous, wonderful space in manifesting things, appreciating them, a relationship. I'm in a new leadership position. I'm teaching. I'm very, very excited about what is. In the relationship sector, I tend to sometimes become balled up about the what ifs. And I wonder about that being some form of sabotage.
For sure. It's literally carving out thought pathways that lead to where you don't want to be. Unless it's the what ifs that delight you when you think about them.
No, and because I believe they are tied to history.
Of course they are.
And
they're old habits of thought that have nothing to do with now. But your thought is where you last left it, so why don't you leave it in a new place? If you could not ever think about that, then there would be no reason to leave it in a new place. But since it is logical and likely that you are going to continue to think about it, then the best idea is to think about it in ways that feel better. So we're going to give you a process. This has been something that Esther's really been enjoying recently. And we're calling it the satisfied, dissatisfied, or satisfied, unsatisfied, satisfied, not satisfied. So she opens her journal and she puts a big S over here and a big un over there. And then she just sort of lets life happen. So something wonderful will happen, or she will just feel wonderful in much the way you just described. And so on this side of it, she'll write a line that says, let's see, what were your lines? I'm living just a wonderful life, and I've taken on a new leadership role. Just listing those things that are easily satisfying. So then on the unsatisfying part of the journal page, you might write, I worry about some things that have happened in the past happening again. Satisfied, 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 unsatisfied. So now, because you're right here where you have control, it's not satisfied, it's the end of the world. It's not satisfied, I don't know what to do. It's not satisfied, I'm beside myself. It's satisfied or unsatisfied. It's just in that controllable, low momentum stage is when we're encouraging you to catch it. So now you've written that. And now, if you will, take that idea that you just wrote, I am thinking about the unpleasant what ifs. Then you might say, but there are so many pleasant what ifs. And I have no reason to think about unpleasant what ifs. These are just habits of thought, and things are going extremely well. And it's so unnecessary that I bring the past into this because it has nothing to do with it. So now you've got satisfied, 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 not satisfied, satisfied. But this is the point. On the subject of dissatisfaction, you have left that subject in a place that you have never left it before. Well, probably doing that today is not going to do the trick completely, because there were a lot of things that you were worried about. Every relationship has a certain amount of insecurity within it. In other words, when your happiness seems like part of the reason is because of this other person, then this other person sticking around feels like a pretty important thing. We get how knowing what you really want can make you know what you don't want. But if you play this game with yourself, it won't be long before there will be a new place that you've left it. You don't have to do that very many times. And think about it. Oh, we really want you to hear this. When you're in concert with your inner being, under the influence of your inner being, your attraction power is way more than when you're not. From the very first moment that you had a I know what I don't want, I know what I do want moment relative to relationship, your inner being only focused upon what you do want. So consider this. Pretend, it isn't literally this way, but pretend that your inner being is over there with that journal, a journal just like it. And everything's on this side. Satisfied, 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 page after page, satisfied, 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 page after page, satisfied, 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 satisfied. You're the only one ever having any unsatisfying moments. So imagine what this momentum is. Just imagine what that momentum is, and then feel how once you tip the fulcrum so that you leave that unsatisfying what if in a whole new place, so that you join concert with your inner being who has true knowing. Can you imagine how stable and solid you can be within that? And it's like our friend was telling us earlier, it's not the result of the test, it's not the manifestation, it's the torture that you do to yourself unnecessarily in the meantime. Yeah?
Yes.
Helpful?
Very. Thank
Something
you.
more? We know it must be annoying for us to keep pointing out something that you cannot translate with your physical senses. And what we want you to do is to try to be satisfied with the knowledge that if I can feel it, that then I will soon see it. You've just got to find some way of soothing yourself, that since I can feel it, therefore it must be. And if you can accomplish that, the receptive mode just means you're receiving something. So you could be in the receptive mode of what your vortex is offering up, or what vulnerability offers. In other words, you're always in the receptive mode. So if you just start there by acknowledging that whatever is occurring to you, whatever thoughts are coming to you, whatever manifestations are happening, they are happening in direct relationship with whatever receptive mode you're in. An easier way of hearing it is whatever mood you're in. So that's elementary, isn't it? In other words, you understand that. You all do, don't you? You understand that. So now let's add another factor to that, and let's call that factor momentum. And let's talk about why momentum happens. Momentum happens because you give your attention to something. You give your attention to something, and then something manifests, and then you give your attention to something and something manifests, and you give your attention to something and something manifests. You have it so good because you're out here on the manifesting edge. You're out here on the edge where whatever you've got going on is showing itself to you moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. You have no excuse to be oblivious about what your vibrational countenance is, because the things that are manifesting around you are evidence of what it is. If you are aware of the way you feel, and you sort of kind of like that feeling, so you focus there, it will become more and more and more and more and more. You could take any thought of minor importance, and you could focus on it and bring it to a place of momentous importance, and it would manifest in this day. Every single one of you could do that with anything that is important to you. This is the power of the universe that you've got working with you. This is the power of the focus of source energy that you've got working with you. You have tools at your fingertips. You have the energy that creates worlds flowing through you, you see. You can be or do or have anything, but you've got to break it down in some way that you know that you are doing it. So we would suggest that you pick something, that is of some importance to you, and you decide that you're going to focus on it until you can show yourself in one day. You can show yourself how the momentum gathers around that subject in one day. From the point of just being able to talk about it to the point of feeling fairly good feeling emotion about it, to the point of really feeling excitement about it, to the point of it manifesting in one day. You can do that. You can do that. And you do it all the time. That's what's so funny about this conversation. You do those things all the time. You just don't know that you're doing them. And so you don't give yourself the credit of focus that you deserve to give yourself the credit of focus. Spend more time in the vortex. What do you think's in there anyway? It's really funny. Here's this vortex, all ripe and ready and really eager. Well, we are the eager ones. To show it to you. And you're over there saying, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. And we say, that's why. That's why. You got to look where it is and feel like it feels. So pick any subject. Look where you think it might be. If you feel that something is lost where you stand, and you believe us at all that there is a vibrational version of you, then look in the direction of this vibrational you and describe it to us. If you feel lost, what does found feel like? If you feel confused, what does clarity feel like? If you feel poor, what does richer feel like? In other words, you got to look where you think you are So look there and describe that for just a moment and stop the other. I've been doing this. How do I get the money out of the vortex and into the bank? When does it come to me? But you see, you can't talk about why the drought is unpleasant and attract the rain. You can't talk about what's missing and allow what's missing to be fulfilled. You've got to find a way to look at until you allow yourself. You see, you don't have to build the momentum in the vortex. The momentum is already built. You ask and the momentum is already gathered and it's huge and ready for you to receive it. Is it too big for you to receive it? No, not at all. Could you get ready to receive it? Yes. Are you ready right now? No. Could you get ready? Yes. Are you ready now? No. Could you get ready? Are you ready? No. Do you want to get ready? Yes. You want to get ready? So, do you believe that there is a vibrational version of things that you want?
Yes.
And do you think that you could find any words for them, or is it just a big, murky mess of a mist of little pieces of things that you've thrown into it? Or do you think there's anything in that that you could define and see? It isn't easy to go there because you don't have the momentum, but we promise you the momentum will come fast. You see, it's easy to tell the other story because that momentum's there. It's easy to say all of those things, but it's not how it needs to be. What's in your vortex that you would like to define? We just want you to find some simple thing that's over there, like a state of clarity or any old thing. What's there that you want? What's there that's missing? What's found that you feel lost from? What's over there that isn't over here? What's over there that you want? What's over there? What's out there? What's up there? What is it that you want? What do you want that you don't have? Pick something that you feel close to. So when you say, I want cars, or I want everything, and you say, how? Just change that one question to why. Because the why will hold you in the momentum of your desire longer. The how almost every time will take you out of it. Whenever you ask yourself for an answer that you don't have, you lose your connection. But when you ask a question that leads you further in the momentum of your desire, it allows the momentum of the desire to go further. Did you hear that?